Deep beneath the rolling waves of the Atlantic Ocean, where sunlight could barely touch the coral palaces, lived Naima, a breathtakingly beautiful African mermaid of 25 years. Her long braids shimmered like black silk in the water, and her scales gleamed in shades of emerald and sapphire. She was admired by many ocean beings, yet Naima carried a secret longing in her heart. While her father, the stern king of the tides, ruled the seas with authority, and her mother, the elegant Queen Safina, demanded obedience, Naima's spirit wandered elsewhere. She often swam close to the water's surface at night, where she would watch the distant lanterns of fishing boats and hear the faint drums from the villages ashore. "I want to see their world," she whispered to her younger sister, Amora, who was playful and mischievous. "You speak foolishly," Amora replied, flicking her tail. "Humans are greedy and dangerous. They kill our kind without mercy." But Naima shook her head. "Not all. I have seen one man. A market salesman with arms strong as carved stone, his laughter echoing across the bay. I don't know his name, but something in me calls to him." Amara gasped. "A human? You dare dream of them?" "Father would never allow it." "Father, indeed, would never allow it." The king of the tides had lost a brother to the nets of fishermen and despised all land dwellers. At the royal gatherings, he often declared, "Humans are liars, destroyers, and thieves of the sea. My children must never touch their cursed world." But Naima's heart beat differently. Each night, she rose higher, until her head peaked above the waves. She would see the market lights flickering on the coast of Kowolo village, hear the bargaining voices, the laughter of buyers, and sometimes, the powerful voice of a man shouting, "Fresh yams! Fresh fruits! Come and buy!" It was Kofi, a tall, muscular market salesman with smooth dark skin that glistened in the sun, his chest broad, his arms powerful from years of lifting heavy baskets. Even from the sea, Naima felt her spirit drawn to him. One night, as the moon painted a silver path across the waters, Naima swam close enough to see Kofi carrying baskets long after the market had closed. He hummed a song to himself, his deep voice trembling in her chest like a drum. She whispered into the wind, "If only I could walk beside him." Her aunt, Mama Zoe, a mysterious sea woman known for her wisdom, overheard her one evening. Unlike Naima's parents, Mama Zoe had always been different. She understood the power of dreams and desires. "You wish to be human, my child?" Mama Zoe asked, her voice deep and haunting. Naima hesitated but nodded. "Yes, aunt. I want to walk on the earth. I want to love." Mama Zoe's eyes darkened like a storm. "It is not easy. Transformation comes with pain and danger. The land may embrace you, or it may spit you out. Your family will not forgive you, and the ocean spirits may curse you. Do you still desire it?" Naima placed her hand over her heart. "Even if it cost me my place here, I must know what it means to love." Mama Zoe's eyes darkened like a storm. "It is not easy. Transformation comes with pain and danger. The land may embrace you, or it may spit you out. Your family will not forgive you, and the ocean spirits may curse you. Do you still desire it?" Naima placed her hand over her heart. "Even if it cost me my place here, I must know what it means to love." Mama Zoe studied her silently, then smiled faintly. "Very well. When the blood moon rises in 3 nights, meet me at the Reef of Shadows. There, you shall choose your fate." But what Naima did not know was that Amora, her sister, had heard every word and swam away swiftly to tell their parents. Far below the reef, the king and queen of the tides sat upon their coral thrones. When Amora whispered Naima's secret desire, the king's face hardened like stone. "She wishes to betray her bloodline," he growled. "She wishes to shame us by choosing a human over her own people. If she dares, she will no longer be my daughter." The queen closed her eyes, her voice sharp with pain. Then we must stop her before she destroys herself. As Naima gazed at the moon above, dreaming of Kofi's strong arms and warm laughter, dark waves of anger were already rising in the palace of the sea. 3 nights later, the blood moon rose above the waves, turning the sea crimson. Its reflection trembled like fire upon the water. Naima swam alone toward the reef of shadows, her heart racing with fear and desire. The reef was an ancient place, where whispers of spirits echoed through the rocks. Strange fish with glowing eyes darted between cracks, and the water tasted heavy with salt and mystery. There, waiting for her, was Mermaid Desire, African seawoman red-tailed mermaid, aunt, a 35-year-old with glowing eyes and shells in her hair, her aunt. She stood on a jagged stone, half submerged, her seawoman body draped in shells and seaweed charms. Her eyes burned with a strange light. "You are late, child," Mermaid Desire said, her voice echoing like thunder underwater. Naima, African mermaid with emerald and sapphire scales, long braided hair flowing in water, bowed her head. "Forgive me, aunt. My heart trembles, but my choice is firm. I want to walk among men." Mermaid Desire raised her hand, and from the darkness emerged a clay pot glowing with red mist. "This potion is old as the ocean itself. It will tear your tail apart and shape legs of flesh and bone. But remember, Naima, once you drink, the sea will reject you. The waves will not heal you, the fish will not obey you, and your parents will curse your name. Do you accept?" Naima's heart pounded like a drum. She thought of Kofi's deep laughter, his strength, the kindness she saw in his eyes. She nodded firmly. "I accept." Mermaid Desire smiled, but it was not a kind smile. It was one heavy with secrets. She lifted the pot, chanting words in a forgotten tongue. The water swirled, thunder rumbled overhead, and a cold wind slashed through the reef. "Drink," she commanded. Her father, the king of the tides, had sent spies. The ocean was watching. Naima pressed the clay pot to her lips. The liquid was bitter, burning like fire down her throat. Instantly, pain ripped through her body. She screamed, clutching her tail as it cracked like breaking glass. Scales tore away, her fins split, and her bones twisted. Blood stained the reef, mixing with the red glow of the moon. Her cries echoed like thunder, until at last her tail was gone. In its place were 2 trembling human legs, pale and weak, unable to hold her weight. She collapsed onto the reef, gasping. "Every step you take will remind you of this pain," Mermaid Desire warned. "But if love is true, the pain will fade. Go now. Your fate awaits." The sea spat Naima onto the shore of Kowolo village, wearing swimming attire and shivering, her long braids tangled with seaweed. The night air beat her skin. She tried to stand but stumbled, her legs too new, too fragile. From the distance came a lantern's glow. Footsteps. A deep voice humming. Naima's heart leapt. It was him. Naima hesitated. If she gave her real name, it might betray her. But something inside urged her not to lie completely. "Naima," she whispered. Kofi, muscular African man, smiled. "Naima. A beautiful name. I am Kofi." The eyes met, and for a moment, the world fell silent, the waves outside, the crackle of fire, even the whisper of spirits. Only the pounding of their hearts remained. Naima knew then, this was the beginning of something dangerous, something beautiful. But as she closed her eyes in exhaustion, she did not see the dark shadow rising in the waves beyond the shore. Her father, the king of the tides, had sent spies. The ocean was watching. The days that followed were unlike anything Naima wearing an Ankara had ever known. Each morning, the golden sun rose over Kowolo village, its warmth kissing her skin. The market came alive with the smell of roasted maize, the laughter of children, and the bargaining cries of women selling spices, fruits, and woven baskets. Kofi, a muscular African man, introduced Naima to the people as a traveler who had lost her way. Though some whispered and raised their brows at her strange mannerisms, they could not deny her beauty. Her smooth dark skin glowed in the sunlight, her braids danced in the wind, and her smile carried a softness that melted hearts. Kofi, proud and protective, kept her close. He showed her how to walk firmly on her legs, holding her hand as they strolled through the market. Naima stumbled often, each step still burning from her transformation, but every time she fell, Kofi caught her in his arms. Steady, he teased one afternoon as she almost toppled into a basket of yams. Your legs are like a child learning to walk. Naima laughed shyly, her laughter carrying the sound of waves. I told you, I am not used to the earth beneath me. Kofi tilted his head curiously. And yet, you speak as though the sea raised you. Her heart raced, but she said nothing. At night, they would sit outside his hut by the fire. Kofi spoke of his dreams to own the largest stall in the market, to trade with other villages, and to build a home strong enough for a family. Naima listened, her eyes glowing, her heart swelling. For the first time, she felt what it meant to belong. But in the depths of the sea, her family seeded. Her sister, Amara, swam before their father's throne, her face twisted with jealousy. She lies with humans, father. She walks in their markets, eats their food, and allows one to touch her. Are we to let her shame us like this? The king of the tide slammed his trident against the coral floor. The ocean quaked. She has chosen betrayal. If she does not return willingly, she will face the punishment of the deep. The queen wept softly. She is our daughter. Not anymore, the king roared. She has abandoned the sea for flesh and bone. If she marries a human, our bloodline will be cursed. Mama Zay, silent in the corner, finally spoke. Perhaps her love will not be her downfall, but her salvation. The world is changing, brother. The sea cannot rule her heart. The king's eyes flared. Enough. If she will not return, then let the waves drag her back in chains. That very night, as Naima slept in Kofi's hut, she dreamed of violent waves and voices calling her name. She awoke trembling, the sound of rushing water still echoing in her ears. Kofi touched her shoulder gently. A nightmare. Yes, she whispered. But it felt too real. The next day, the market was busier than usual. Kofi left Naima at the store while he went to fetch more goods. As she arranged fruits, a group of village women surrounded her. Their eyes narrowed, their voices sharp with suspicion. You, girl, one woman hissed. Where did you come from? Your beauty is unnatural. Your eyes shine like the sea. Yes, another added. And I have seen you stumble, as if your legs do not belong to you. Who are you, really? Naima froze, her hands trembling. She forced a smile. I am only a woman who lost her way. But their whispers spread like wildfire. That evening, as she and Kofi returned home, the sky darkened unnaturally. Clouds twisted, thunder roared, and the ocean waves crashed against the shore with violent fury. From the foam rose dark-shaped spirits of the deep, with glowing eyes and whispering voices. Naima staggered back in fear. She knew them. They were her father's messengers. The wind carried their chilling words, return, or perish. Kofi stepped in front of her, his chest rising. What is this witchcraft? Who are these shadows? Naima's tears fell. She could no longer hide. They are from my world. From the sea. Kofi, I am not what you think. I was born a mermaid. The firelight flickered across his face, stunned and unbelieving. A mermaid. Naima, this cannot be. She stepped closer, gripping his hands. It is true. I gave up my tail for these legs, my ocean for this land. I chose this life because of you. Because I love you. The spirits howled, the wind snapping like whips. Kofi held her tightly, shielding her with his body. If she loves me, he shouted into the storm, then you cannot take her away. But the spirits only hissed louder, blood betrays blood. She must return. The waves crashed, and Naima knew the war between her two worlds had begun. The storm raged for 3 nights. The sea would not rest, as if each wave carried the anger of Naima's father, the king of the tides. The villagers grew restless. Fishermen complained their nets were torn, boats overturned, and strange voices whispered from the water at night. Whispers spread like wildfire. Since that strange woman came, the sea has cursed us. She is not human. She brings disaster. She must leave, or we will all drown. Naima felt the weight of their stares. She stayed close to Kofi, but even his strong arms could not shield her from the rumors. One evening, as they sat by the fire, the ground trembled. The wind howled, and from the shore rose a terrifying sight, a massive wave shaped like a beast, its mouth open, as glowing with fury. Naima gasped, recognizing the voice inside it. Our father. Daughter, the voice thundered across the village. You defy your blood, you disgrace your kin, and for what? A mortal man who will die while you live forever. Kofi clutched her hand, pulling her behind him. If she is cursed, then I stand cursed with her. I will not give her up. The villagers screamed and scattered, some hiding in their huts, others running inland. Only Kofi and Naima stood before the monstrous wave. Naima cried out, her voice breaking. Father, please. I chose this life. I chose love. Do not punish him for my decision. The wave crashed closer, but suddenly a second figure rose from the surf. Mama Zoe. Her glowing eyes pierced the storm, her shell necklace clattering with power. Brother, stop. He shouted, raising her staff of coral. Do not destroy her. Do not destroy them. The king's voice boomed. She has shamed us. She spits on our laws. Mama Zoe's voice cracked with anger. And you? You bind your children with chains of fear. The girl only seeks happiness. Why should love be a crime? The sea split as the two forces clashed. Lightning ripped the sky, illuminating Naima's pale face as she clung to Kofi's arm. The queen's voice suddenly rose from the depths, sorrowful yet powerful. Enough. Zoe, you meddle with fate. Brother, your wrath blinds you. If Naima is to be judged, let the spirits of the deep decide, not your rage. At her command, the monstrous wave paused, trembling in place. The storm subsided slightly, though the sky remained heavy. The king's voice growled like rolling thunder. Very well. Let her prove her worth. If her love is true, she will survive. If not, the sea will claim her. With that, the wave collapsed into the ocean, leaving the village soaked but alive. Naima collapsed to her knees, trembling. Kofi wrapped his arms around her, whispering, we will face whatever comes. Together. But the danger was far from over. That night, while Naima rested, Amora, her jealous sister, slipped from the waves, her tail shimmering under the moonlight. She stepped into the village disguised as a human, her beauty cold and sharp. She approached the villagers, whispering poison into their ears. Do you not see? She is cursed. Because of her, your children drown, your nets tear, your food rots. The sea will not forgive until you give her up. Fear and anger grew in the villagers' hearts. Some men gathered with torches, muttering, we must drive her away. She is a witch. Mama Zoe sensed the danger. She appeared in Naima's dream, her voice urgent, child, beware. Your sister seeks your ruin, and the people fear what they cannot understand. You must act wisely, or all will be lost. Naima awoke with a shiver. She looked at Kofi, asleep beside her, his arm heavy across her waist. He was her anchor, her love, but now he too was in danger, not just from the sea, but from his own people. She whispered to the wind, "Spirits, give me strength. If I must fight for this love, then I will fight with all I have." The days after the storm were heavy with tension. The sea had grown calmer, but the village was restless. Naima could feel their eyes on her as she walked with Kofi through the market, fearful, suspicious, hostile. Her sister Amara's whispers had taken root. The villagers now believed Naima was a curse. Women clutched their children when she passed, men spat in her path, and elders muttered prayers under their breath. "Why do they look at you so?" Kofi asked, frowning as he carried a basket of yams. Naima sighed, her heart heavy. "They sense what I am. Amara. She must be behind this. She will not stop until she destroys me." That night, under the cover of darkness, Amara struck. She emerged from the sea with a cruel smile, her disguise flawless. Her legs shimmered like polished ebony, her beauty sharp as a blade. She crept into Kofi's hut while he slept. Naima sat awake, staring into the fire, her instincts restless. "Poor sister," Amara purred, stepping into the glow of the flames. "You think you can escape the sea? But blood will always call blood." Naima stood quickly, her eyes wide. "Amara, why are you here? Leave us." Amara's smile twisted. "Father gave his command, return or perish. And if you refuse, then I will give the villagers what they want." She raised her hand. From her palm burst a spray of dark water, hissing like acid. It struck the fire, extinguishing the flames. Darkness filled the hut, and the sisters' cries echoed in the night. Kofi awoke, startled. "Naima, what is happening?" Before Naima could answer, Amara held her against the wall. Her eyes glowed with fury. "She bewitched you, mortal. She does not love you, she uses you. I am the true daughter of the sea, and I will not let her shame us." Kofi grabbed a wooden staff, standing protectively in front of Naima. "Stay away from her." But Amara laughed, her voice sharp. "Do you really think your human strength can match mine?" She lunged forward, striking Kofi across the chest. He staggered but did not fall. Blood trickled from his lip, but he lifted the staff again. Naima, her heart breaking, crawled to his side. "Stop, Amara. Please. If you love me as a sister, spare him." Amara's face twisted with bitterness. "Love? You abandoned us for him. You chose a mortal over your family. You don't deserve mercy." Outside, the villagers gathered, drawn by the sounds of the struggle. They peered into the hut and gasped at the sight of two women locked in a battle, one glowing with strange power, the other weeping with desperation. "She is a witch," one villager shouted. "Burn her." "Drive them out," cried another. The crowd surged forward with torches. Naima knew she was trapped. The sea rejected her, the village despised her, and her sister wanted her dead. But then, a commanding voice split the chaos. "Enough." Mama Zoe stepped into the circle of firelight, her staff glowing with the power of the deep. The villagers froze, their torches flickering. Even Amara stiffened at her presence. "Children of the sea, children of the land," Mama Zoe declared, her voice shaking the earth, "do you not see? Fear blinds you. Anger poisons you. This is not the way." She turned to Amara. "Child, your jealousy consumes you. Will you destroy your sister simply because she chose a different path?" The villagers murmured, some lowering their torches. But the king of the tides was not silent. His voice rumbled from the crashing waves beyond the shore. "Words mean nothing. Let her prove it. If her love is true, let her survive the trial." The earth quaked. The sea rose, forming a whirlpool that tore through the beach. From its center emerged a monstrous spirit, made of water and bone, its jaws dripping with foam, its eyes glowing with endless hunger. The villagers screamed and scattered. Amora stepped back in shock. Even Mama Zoe tightened her grip on her staff. This is the trial of love, the king's voice thundered. If the mortal man truly loves her, he will not run. If the mermaid truly loves him, she will sacrifice herself. Only then will I allow them peace. The monstrous spirit lunged forward, waves crashing around it. Kofi stepped in front of Naima once more, lifting his staff though he was trembling. Run, Naima. Save yourself. She stood against the sea for him. She offered her life for love. Perhaps she is not a curse. Perhaps she is a blessing. Mama Zoe turned toward the waves, lifting her staff high. Brother, sister, what more must she prove? The spirits themselves have witnessed her love. Will you deny her still? The sea shimmered with silver light. From its depths rose two colossal figures, the king and queen of the tides. Their forms towered above the water, shimmering with scales and crowned with coral. The villagers gasped and fell to their knees. The king's face was carved in stone, stern and unyielding. She defied me. She chose flesh over water. She abandoned her bloodline. But the queen's face was soft, her voice trembling with compassion. And yet, husband, look at her. She is willing to give her soul for love. Is that not the highest courage? The king thundered, courage does not excuse betrayal. Mama Zoe stepped forward, staff glowing. Brother, you blind yourself. You think love weakens, but it strengthens. You think family is chains, but it should be bonds. Will you destroy your daughter for following her heart? The king hesitated. His eyes flickered between Naima and Kofi, who clung to each other despite the fear, despite the danger. Their love burned brighter than the storm. Finally, the queen placed her hand on the king's arm. Let her go. Let her live. We cannot cage the tide. The king's trident lowered. His voice rumbled like distant thunder. Very well. She has chosen her path. Let her remain on land. But hear me, Naima, your life is no longer of the sea. The ocean will not heal you. You will live as mortals do, and you will die as mortals die.
She said, "Yes, father, I won't belong to sea anymore." They lived happily together. They got married in village.